All right, and we are back. Well, Woke Flossie, what did you think of that last best of three we just saw?
I thought that was amazing. I was like a little bit worried. I think Gemma and I hold the record right now for maybe the longest set on Monday Night Friendlies. I think that set might have given us a run for our money.
Yeah, I don't think they got the, what was it, like 14 yawns off, and I'm not even sure what else was in there. But yeah, we have DJ Prime, I think, back for the third week of playing in these friendlies. And then Sam Bush Sr., brand new player. Two very interesting teams we see here. I mean, what do you think from what we can see?
Yeah, I really, I'm interested in both these teams, particularly on Saiyan's side, where you see one of the Pokemon I've been using recently in VGC, and that's Nihilego. It's very fast and very strong.
Yeah, and if you can see, like, on the other side, like, is that Aurorus?
It is.
I think that's an Aurorus that we see there. That's an interesting pick. I'm not exactly sure what it does, but it is an ice type, and the opponent has a Dragapult, so it seems to be decent.
That is true.
Although it is going to take super effective damage from that Kartana. And maybe it's not the right call, but we also see a Blaziken, two Pokemon you generally don't see in VGC, so I'd love to see how they work.
Me too, and it looks like, especially on Saiyan's team, there definitely looks to be a slow mode and a faster mode. You know, the faster mode being the Regieleki, the Dragapult, the Kartana, the Nihilego. But you've also got Dusclops and Tapu Fini there, which, you know, if Blaziken gets off a couple of speed boosts, I'm assuming it's a speed boost Blaziken, you know, you set up a Trick Room and that could be really bad.
Yeah. Do you think potentially that this Dusclops has Shadow Sneak to self-rock? Oh, and as we do see, Dragapult has the weakness policy.
Yeah.
So potentially a Shadow Sneak to self-rock the weakness policy, something we saw back in Series 4 a lot. Very popular for a good month, as it won, I believe, the Spring Challenge for Victory Road.
I wonder if we see something similar on the opposite side with like the Aurorus and the Dragapult. Does it get Ice Shard? I don't know. I don't ever use that Pokemon.
Yeah, I was going to say, that's a Pokemon I am not very familiar with. But I would assume it being an Ice type and a Fossil, I feel like the Fossils all get random physical moves. Mm-hmm. So I would guess it does get Ice Shard. Not 100% sure, though.
Well, maybe we'll find out.
Yeah, I mean, based on what you can see on the item choices here from Saiyan's side, do you think that this Regieleki can kind of punch holes through everything based on its speed tier and...
For sure, and its choice specs, yeah, it's going to be hitting really hard, really fast. Mm-hmm. And so, and it's going to be probably doing spread damage with something like an Electro Web to mess with the speed tiers as well. At least that's what I've seen a lot from Regieleki in Series 7.
Yeah, no, I very much agree. I think something like a Specs Electro Web is very threatening, especially as it kind of cancels out the Blaziken speed boost if it's trying to like Dynamax and get both speed boost and potentially a max knuckle boost.
Very true. I think with that power herb on the Nihilego, we can safely assume it probably has Meteor Beam, which for those of you who don't know, it's a 2-turn rock type move that does first turn it boosts Nihilego's special attack by 1 stage. The second turn it hits really hard with a special rock move, and the power herb means that it will just take a single turn to do both the boost and the rock type damage. So it's very, very strong.
Yeah.
And then not to mention, if you get the KO with the Meteor Beam, you then get a beast boost from Nihilego because of its ability. It's insane.
We do see the leads here with DJ Prime leading off with the Aurorus and Vanillux, along with the Kartana and the Regieleki from Saiyan side. We do see that it is not we see it's not. What's the Snow Warning? Is that the hail ability?
Mm-hmm.
So it is. Oh, did I say Vanillux? Oops, I meant Whimsicott. Aurorus and Whimsicott. I'm frazzled by seeing Pokemon I'm not used to seeing. But
yeah.
I mean, what do you think here based on these leads?
I mean, I think that Kartana is pretty threatening to that Aurorus, so I think maybe we might see a max from that Kartana and just an Electro Web from the Regieleki.
Yeah, I would tend to agree. I think even like maxing this Aurorus, I'm not sure it'll survive a Steel Spike through.
I'm not either. But we do see the Kartana max. Let's see. I think we're going to see, I think I saw spread damage on the Regieleki choice. The Whimsicott could go for something like a Tailwind. I don't know if that gets you anything in this situation. Oh, we see a taunt. All right, well, that would prevent screens from going up by the Regieleki, so I do understand the choice.
Oh, and as the Whimsicott avoids the attack, a very crucial dodge, because otherwise this Kartana would get both the speed boost from the Airstream and the attack boost from the Beast boost, and instead it just only gets the speed boost as the Whimsicott gets to survive for another turn.
Right. It does look like Saiyan did go ahead and predict correctly that Aurorus was either going to switch out or protect. So that was a good turn. At least you didn't end up, wasting a max move into a protect.
Mm-hmm. And my question for you now is, how fast is a +1 Regieleki? Because
too fast.
I don't even think like Dragapult and Tailwind would outspeed that.
It's so fast it can function under Tail or Trick Room, and also be first.
Yeah, as we see, no Dynamax from DJ Prime, as the Electro Web does double connect this time, getting a single KO and doing 50% of the Aurora. Yeah.
Yeah, and I think this Kartana is just going to go ahead and finish this up. It's just a question of which boost it's going to take advantage of. And it looks like the Max Knuckle is going to finish off the Aurorus, give the Kartana a +1 attack boost, plus a Beast boost for getting that KO. And we can assume that the Beast boost is going to be an attack as well.
Mm-hmm. So remember back in Series 5 when you had your Excadrill out, and you're like, do I Dynamax and do I attack this Pokemon, or do I Swords Dance? Well, Kartana gets to do both at the same time when it gets a KO with Max Knuckle, which is...
it's true.
Yeah, it's a little bit interesting of a mechanic. At this point, though, +1 Regieleki and Tailwind, we will get to see if it's faster than the opposing Dragapults, but at this point an Airstream and an Electro Web into the Blaziken or into either Pokemon is probably safe.
Right, I feel like sometimes the Blaziken in this situation will protect to try to go ahead and get that speed boost up before it really takes any damage, or maybe mitigating some damage if the Kartana were to attack it. So we'll see. It looks like we do see a max, and that looks like it's probably the Dragapult.
Yeah, I would tend to guess the Dragapult would be what's maxing here. Just because the Blaziken is incredibly threatened by the combination of a Max move and Electro Web. But we'll see here if +2 Kartana's Airstream can do a decent amount of damage to this Dragapult.
Oh, the Dragapult is going first. I'm gonna boost the speed on that side of the field. So maybe we have kind of a similar situation over here with the Blaziken, who's gonna get a +1 from that attack from Dragapult, and also at the end of the turn gonna get another +1 added to its speed for its ability.
Yeah, I've got to say, this is the most speed oh my gosh, that did a lot in very quick. But this is the most speed boosts and Tailwind and everything I've seen in a battle before. But this Blaziken isn't going to make it to the end of the turn to get its speed.
There's those choice specs we had identified in team preview.
Mm-hmm.
But
and at this point, it's going to be At this point, it's going to be very difficult for this Dragapult on its own.
Yeah, I'm afraid, especially as you continue to drop its speed. Once it's done with Dynamax, it doesn't really have any way to increase its speed, and also there's a Tapu Fini on the field.
Mm-hmm. So it'll be very interesting to see if there is a way back with just this Dragapult not being able to click even a Dragon-type move really at all with the Mystic Arena. So, I mean,
maybe
what do you think?
A couple good predictions.
Yeah.
Maybe.
What do you think at this point, as it's Culverberry Dragapult? Very interesting. As I guess does that count as a prediction, going for the Phantasm into the Dusclops switch-in, even though sadly enough it didn't do enough damage to get the KO, leaving pretty much a free switch-in of the Tapu Fini.
I mean, you didn't really have a choice, you had a choice between Airstream or Phantasm, I assume, and I think that Phantasm was probably the safer choice any way you slice it. Maybe not so much a prediction, but just a well-reasoned play.
And I think at this point, the this Dragapult might be in range of 2 Shadow Sneaks once the Dynamax is over. And there's really not that much left to... Yeah, as the Tapu Fini survives, and we'll just get the KO this turn.
Yep.
So what do you think that Prime's best option is for game 2? Kind of making an adjustment here.
I mean, depending on what kind of speeds you have, you might try bringing the Dusclops out earlier. You know, you might try doing some things with speed that aren't necessarily gotta go fast, and see if that doesn't let you attack first in the right situations, and then kind of get ahead of the game.
Yeah, I think that's a pretty good option. For me, I think maybe the Aurorus isn't the right call, considering it did nothing. It protected and then it died. So I would say, I mean, what do you think instead of the Aurorus would be the call here?
Oh, on this side? I'm not sure. I mean, maybe you could bring in Didi, I suppose, to get some redirection. The Metagross is also an option for sure. That would do some work on the other side of the field.
Yeah, I think really the big thing is you kind of have to get more out of your Blaziken than just one attack.
I agree.
And that can threaten the Kartana. And if it just goes down after threatening the Kartana, potentially it's not that great of a trade, especially seeing what else is on the field.
That's true.
So as we see Saiyan kind of wanting to switch it up, not knowing if he wants to switch it up, we see a lot of kind of changes here. Eventually, maybe keeping the same 4 Pokemon as before. But it looks like if this Dusclops does get clicked, we don't have any change, or maybe not. Just kind of here sitting in anticipation.
You know, the Dusclops and Dragapult might not be a bad idea.
Yeah. I mean, I think the key is speed control, right?
For sure. And it looks to be a couple ways of doing that on Science Team. It's possible that Prime could also have some means of speed control that we have not yet seen.
Well, we do see the Whimsicott Dragapult switch up with the leads from game 1, and then Regieleki and Kartana keeping the same
leads, different position.
Yeah.
That's for Cyan.
Mm-hmm.
It looks like that Regieleki
one though from Regieleki. So, I mean, what do you think here is the most optimal?
Well, I don't think the Kartana wants to take an airstream from Dragapults. I suppose if it maxes, it may survive, depending on how it's EV'd. I think that maybe Prime is going to set the Tailwind and maybe just try to get some speed boosts.
Yeah, I would think that's probably a good idea. It's really funny seeing at this point the Regieleki will be the third thing to move in the turn when you consider the Tailwind and the Dragapult going first. But
yep. Oh, we see a Wormwood trying to mitigate maybe some of those potential beast boosts on the Kartana, because we did see it, use a Max Knuckle, which of course it can't use on the Dragapult and probably won't use on the Whimsicott to boost its attack 2 stages in 1 turn again, at least not in this position.
Yeah, as we see the Regieleki survive with 1 HP, a pseudo Focus Sash right there, and this Kartana is just going to be able to pick off the Whimsicott. That was it. I wonder if it's EV'd specifically to survive, non-life form Dragapult Max Phantasm.
I like that play a lot, getting the Tapu Fini in to kind of discourage the use of those dragon moves that are dropping Kartana's attack. Kartana wants to stay as big in attack as possible.
Mm-hmm. At this point,
there we see one.
We're probably going to see the Blaziken switch in here, if I would guess. What do you think that Saiyan's best option is with this Kartana and Fini on the field?
Yeah, we know that his Kartana cannot protect because it is assault vested. So, you might think about getting it out of there and bringing out your 1 HP Regieleki, maybe go ahead and sack that up, or even your Dustclops, which is probably bulky enough to take any hit from the Blaziken, as long as the Dragapult doesn't Phantasm. The Dustclops would be relatively safe to bring out too.
Yeah. As something we did not say in game 1 is this Dustclops is not carrying Trick Room. It's carrying Nightshade, Shadow Sneak, Ally Switch, and Will-O-Wisp.
I didn't even notice.
So it's very supportive of the Dragapult and of the fast Pokemon on Saiyan's side of the field, not really even needing the Trick Room option with the rest of the components.
Yeah, and we do see that Dustclops go ahead and switch out. And we're gonna actually see the Feeny Max. Very cool.
Something you normally don't see, I would say.
Not a whole lot.
But I mean, do you think this is the right thing to do here, maxing and trying to take out this Blaziken?
I do, because you have Kartana in the back, and if Dragapult, once it's done with its max, Fly is then a 2-turn move. If it does have Airstream, I don't even know if it does. It hasn't shown it yet, right? So I think that because you have your Kartana in the back, and that's one of the Pokemon you've got back there, you've got to go ahead and get rid of that Blaziken, because it's the biggest threat to your damage dealers.
As now the Blaziken is gone, and the Kartana is no longer threatened by super effective attacks.
Right.
So, I mean, if you had to guess, what do you think that Prime's last Pokemon is here?
I don't know. I have no idea. Maybe the Metagross?
There it is.
It is the Metagross.
So something interesting here is I do not think that the max Wormwind would KO the Tapu Fini, but it potentially could. And with the Misty Train being up at the moment, the Dustclops cannot Will-O-Wisp either.
Cannot Will-O-Wisp. It does have everyone's favorite move, Ally Switch, though.
Hey, Ally Switch is just follow me.
I know, right? It really is. It really is just follow me. Me personally, I play Ally Switch as if, once I know they have it, I play as if they are going to Ally Switch every turn. I don't read the Ally Switch. Saves me headache.
I ignore the fact that they have Ally Switch. I'm like, oh, you used it, so you just won't use it now.
Sometimes that's true, for sure.
It very rarely works.
The Phantasm does go ahead and pick up the Tapu Fini because of the Ally Switch, actually.
Yeah. I wonder if that was predicting it or just going for the super effective move into the Dustclops.
I mean, yeah, makes sense.
Wow, that did a lot of damage to that Dustclops.
It really did. So now we know that Cyan has used their max also. And I think that Dynamax, is over for Prime. What do you think is going to happen here?
I think the play here is to just double into the Dragapult, because there's 1 turn left of Tailwind. I don't think the Dragapult is going to be going for Phantom Force. I think the one issue is the Dragapult could probably just go for Dragon Darts and do a decent amount of damage to the Dustclops.
Yeah. It does seem like it. Which of Kartana's moves? All right. Looks like we're going to see the Smart Strike. So, yeah,
it looks like we're going to see the double up into this Dragapult. Potentially going for the Phantom Force this turn, although that Shadow Sneak did an awful lot of damage.
Yeah, it really did. And there we do see the Phantom Force.
An interesting mechanics question, though. Does Nightshade proc weakness policy if it's super effective?
I don't know.
Answer, it does not.
That makes sense because it's fixed damage, right?
Yeah.
Makes sense.
At that point, it's weird that it even has a typing, but it as a max, it does proc weakness policy because it becomes a special.
It changes. Yeah, that makes sense, and it's not boosted by attack boosts or anything either, right?
Yeah,
it's just fixed.
that's why theoretically I thought that it should just fail as a max move. But instead it becomes a special max move, which is kind of strange to me.
Yeah, special case, I guess.
Yeah.
That Phantom Force does almost 50% to that Kartana. And that Sacred Sword, oof, doesn't do a whole lot to that Metagross.
No, not at all. As Dusclops does live another turn to get a Nightshade off into this Metagross.
All right. Well, where do we stand now?
At this point, another Shadow Sneak into this Dragapult, and as it Phantom Forces, puts everything in range of Regieleki, although just doubling up into this Metagross might also put it in range of Regieleki.
I think that's right. Very interesting. It's like a 1 HP Regieleki in the back.
Yeah.
But it's faster than everything.
Well, it'll be interesting to see here if it can get both of these Pokemon into Regieleki range.
It will. Oh, yeah. I think so.
That Dragapult definitely inspects Electroweb range. I'm not sure.
I think so. I don't know. Specs Electroweb. I mean, it hits hard. Can the 1 HP Regieleki do it? We're about to find out.
I'd like to say Metagross is out of range, but it's also non-Dynamax Metagross, and I don't know how bulky it is.
Right. Oh, you were right.
The Metagross is just out of range.
Yeah.
And any move here will just KO this. Yeah, we see the Ice Punch.
Yep. No need to reveal any more moves than you've already revealed.
We're on to game 3.
We are.
So, I mean, we saw the adjustment from Prime in game 2. Potentially doing more with the Dragapult, calling the Ally Switch correctly or getting the right play on the Ally Switch turn. And at that point, there wasn't really much that Saiyan could do other than hoping to survive and hoping to put things in range. I mean, what do you think the best game 3 adjustment is now for Saiyan now that game 2 did not go his way?
Yeah, for Saiyan, I say you go your weakness policy Dragapult route. Bring out the big fast guns quickly and do some damage to these Pokemon before you even have to bring out your Kartana. Just put it in the front. Dusclops, maybe you can either switch Dusclops out to something like a Regieleki to put on even more offensive pressure. But yeah, I think that the Dragapult Dusclops mode is going to be the best bet for Saiyan.
Yeah, I don't think that's a bad call at all. I think that's what we're seeing right now is we're seeing the Dusclops Dragapult lead. The one issue is if the Dragapult Whimsicott lead is on the other end, you're going to have to decide, do I Ally Switch, do I Self-Proc, how am I going to deal with the opposing Dragapult?
Very true. But like you said, that Dusclops does have some options. It's built to support this Dragapult. So, and presumably against opposing Dragapult. So it really would, I think, give Saiyan an option no matter what Prime decides to lead on that side of the field.
I agree, and both players are taking their time this time, as we see with still 30 seconds left, we have them finally lock in.
Yep.
So it's gonna be exciting.
Do you lock in early when you play?
If I'm very confident, I will, but I also like to see when my opponent locks in, so I'll have them selected, and then I'll just go to the screen where I can see both. And lock in right after my opponent does. I don't know if it creates mind games or anything like that, but
I'm sure. I lock in early, way too early, so many times. I'm guilty. All right, well, it's Dragapult v Dragapult.
Yeah, we see Dragapult and its Supportmon in Whimsicott, and then Dragapult and its Supportmon in Dusclops. So
just so we were just talking about, we'll see.
Yeah, I don't care what either Dragapult does this turn, other than the fact that I'm rooting for the shiny Dragapult.
All right, that's fair. That's fair. Shiny Dragapult is really cool.
It has one of the best designs of really any shiny, I think.
Yeah. I mean, the Pokemon is such a great design. I think this is interesting. The Pokemon designs this generation were designed with Dynamax in mind, right? Whereas it's not true with some of the other ones. And Dragapult is a phenomenal looking Pokemon inside of Dynamax and out. Look at its feet. Aren't those great?
I love how it has like the half second where it flashes invisible as it Dynamaxes.
It's so good. It's so good. And you can see through its tail. It's so good. I'm going to see a Max Guard from the shiny Dragapult.
So we're going to see Tailwind and maybe a Phantom Force is what it's looking like. Oh, wow. As that's kind of a wasted turn one of Dynamax from Saiyan on that end, because we're not going to see
any big damage go off. Miss the Will-O-Wisp because Dragapult was underground.
Something interesting to note is now that this Dragapult is going to be doing a little bit of damage to the opposing Dragapult, the Phantom Force Dragapult, but it's going to get KO'd itself by Dragapult, and now you don't have your Dragapult answer.
Very true.
We could just see like a Max Phantasm and Ally switch this turn.
We could. It's very interesting. I don't know if targeting Whimsicott is the goal there.
Oh my gosh, that did a lot.
But we're still gonna see. I think did Saiyan click Phantom Force? I'm sorry, like Max
Phantasm.
Max Ghost? Yeah.
Yes, but we're not gonna get to see it. As the double up just gets the KO.
Just gets the KO. Yep. Well, now what do you do if you're Saiyan? You've lost your Dragapult answer.
Yeah, and now your Dusclops is a little bit worthless, I would say. Especially because it does have taunt and can just taunt at the upcoming turn, as you can just continuously attack the partner.
Yeah, and then you're just locked into Nightshade with your only way of being able to do damage.
The funny thing, though, is if this Regieleki can survive the turn, I'm pretty sure Thunderbolt will just pick up this Whimsicott if they go for it.
It very well might. Specs Regieleki is very strong.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see whether or not this Whimsicott decides Taunt is the best play, which I would assume taunting in the Dusclops pretty much guarantees the win. Then Dynamaxing the Dragapult, but there probably are other options depending on what's in the back.
Yep. And we do see the Dynamax on Prime's side now. Looks like it's that Dragapult again. No surprises there. I didn't expect to see a Dynamax Whimsicott.
I would love to see more Dynamax Whimsicott.
I think I have seen it before, and it was like absolutely kind of the only option this person had, but not very often.
I played against a Japanese player at like 3 a.m. that Dynamaxed their Whimsicott, and
all right, fair.
It was the weirdest. Like they maxed their Whimsicott so they could max Starfall. As we see, Regieleki just
to change terrain. Yeah,
it was to stop they maxed Starfall to stop an Amoonguss from sporing. It was really interesting.
We see that Thunderbolt from the Regieleki, and it's not quite enough to get that Whimsicott.
Yeah. But now at this point, the Whimsicott can Moonblast KO the Regieleki, and the Dragapult can Max Phantasm KO the Dusclops with that defense drop.
Yep.
So it's a pretty rough position from Saiyan here, and
yeah,
I'm not sure.
Because you've been taunted. You can't do anything really except for Nightshade. I mean, you could Shadow Sneak if you really wanted the priority for some reason, but
Shadow Sneak could just pick off the Whimsicott here, but I'm not sure even how much that helps.
Right. Yep. Tailwind is still up.
And even at this point, I would assume Blaziken's in the back, so there's just speed boosts and more speed control ready to go.
Yep.
And the Anteater, 527, thank you for the follow. We're currently, I believe, in game 3 of our 4th set tonight, as it looks like DJ Prime is going to be taking this game here.
It does, as the Dragapult gets another speed boost with the Max Airstream.
Yeah, and I mean, I think this set was just really determined by who can get the most speed. And it turns out the Tailwind plus the Airstream beats the Regieleki, and I think this is the first time you'll ever see Regieleki losing a speed war.
That's very true. That's very true. And it looks like Saiyan knows it's close to the end here, but gonna go ahead and see if maybe he can't take a Pokemon down with him.
Yeah, at this point, I think taking the Whimsicott is very possible with just the Shadow Sneak, but then... Oh, never mind.
Oh. Just to add an insult to injury. Not gonna let it happen.
No, as the Blaziken is just going to... maybe we'll see an Airstream? Oh no, we just see a Wormwind into this Dusclops, I would assume.
Right.
Yeah, at this point, there's not much that Saiyan can do.
No, because even though the Kartana is capable of boosting its attack back up to full, by KOing a Pokemon, if that were to happen even, it's just threatened too much by this Blaziken, which eventually will outpace the Kartana if not immediately here. And I think it's just too big of an ask.
Mm-hmm. And here we'll see just the quick run button, and both players will finish out this game with the forfeit. And I mean, good games of both of these players. Both players played pretty well. It just came down to who could get the speed control first and who could get the speed control fastest.
Yep.
So, yeah.
Very true.
Any thoughts on what else we saw here?
I mean, I thought it was just, I think that maybe if the Dragapult would have on Saiyan's team would have been supported a little bit more by that Dusclops, put some of the weight on that Dusclops and take some KOs early, it could have been a very different match. And like you said, getting the speed control was really important to this match.
Yeah, GG's to both of these players.